everyone, and welcome back to your favorite VR podcast. It's the Between Realities VR podcast. Oh, yes. Hello. Thank you for joining us. It's a bonus episode. It's Wednesday, and my name is Alex VR. I am co-host of this magnificent broadcast, and joined beside me, as always, is my co-host, Skiva. Hello, my good sir.
What up? How you doing?
Dude, pretty good. I've been busy for the past couple of days, and I played Elden Ring for the past couple of days before that.
Yep.
We've got a couple busy days ahead of us here.
Dude, right? Like the next couple of weeks is just going to be absolutely insane. So I'm just looking forward to chilling today and talking to our guests.
Today we're chilling.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be following up on our Virtual Athletics League series here, and we'll run the trailer for the Winter Games here in a minute. Tomorrow, Thursday night, you and I, Skiva and I, will be on the QTC podcast with Eric Masher, Mash Daddy Cool.
Yes.
Tomorrow night as guests. So that'll be really fun. And that'll give us a chance to, I don't know, talk about us.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about all these other cool people for once.
Then Friday we get another show. And then Saturday we have, I'll be on the VR Realm. And then we'll both be on the VR Chat Show.
Jeez.
It's never ending.
Jeez. So super busy week here for us, and we thank you guys for being here and joining us on this busy journey. Gamertag VR, this or the state of play?
Oh, the state of play is happening at the same time?
I guess so.
Oh, man. Our fans are dedicated. Thank you guys for being here.
Well, at least we know that there's no VR news, though. So, you know, like if they're hardcore VR fans, Sony said no VR news.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Then forget that.
Yeah,
we don't need that.
Forget that. Zonkers in the chat. What's up? Thank you for being here. Butter something. What's good?
How's it going? What's up?
Master Cool. Yes, you made it.
What's up, buddy?
You made it. Thanks for being here, man. I got Colin Gaming 0924. Hi. Hey. What's up, man? Andy Obscure Nerd VR is here with us.
What's
Our homie.
up? What's up?
Chroma Snare. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
RobynzReality. Good to see you, Robin. Hope you're doing all right. Little Jansen Fox dancing away on this happy Wednesday. Oh, I see a little kitten in a box there from Boombox. I guess we'll get to that here in a little minute. Samson, what's up? Hello, everyone. Samson, thanks for being here with us. Sarah Scott, whoop, whoop. We're going to hear about some Synth Riders today. Oh, we're live. What's up, Florian? You know, this one was planned. We don't always do Wednesdays, but when there's a reason to, we do bonus Wednesday episodes, and boom, here we are.
Here we are.
We also got Wolf Raza joining us here live in the chat, and everyone else who was just too slow. You know, too slow on it. Like, you got to be on it.
You got to be here and be ready.
You got to be here and be ready like today's guests were, who have been patiently waiting with us today. You know, this is part 2 of our Virtual Athletics League VR Winter Games special series. And joining us amongst these episodes are developers from games that have participated in Virtual Athletics League events. And we are starting with 2 games that are both rhythm games. VR and rhythm are like a match made in heaven. It's like peanut butter and chocolate. And joining us today from Synth Riders is Whirl, our friend Whirl, and from Boombox VR, CEO and community manager of Boombox VR, Ekaterina. Hello, Kat and Whirl. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, nice to be here. Delightful.
Hello.
Thank
to
you.
be here.
Hi, guys.
They were making a bunch of dill puns before the show started, and I was pulling my hair out. And then she comes onto the show and immediately leads with one. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Hey, had to be done. Had to be done.
It's good to see you again,
It's
Whirl.
delicious.
It is good to see you again. I hope all things are going well in your neck of the woods.
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah.
Hoping, fingers crossed.
Yes, yes. Hoping things are going well. Fingers crossed. So we're about to dive into some conversation about rhythm games, and you know, we've got some questions for you. But first,
oh yes, first
we're going to roll the trailer for the Virtual Athletics League VR Winter Games happening right now. Let's check it out.
I guess I should put some sound here.
Man,
I know. Without my soundboard, this is a lot harder. Hold on, please. We might have to run this again, because...
Yeah, we'll run it. We'll run it again.
Hold on.
You can imagine that there's just like this banging song. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Welcome to VR Winter Games.
Welcome to the VR Winter Games.
The Virtual Athletics League is running their fourth big event with the Winter Games started on February 26th, and they are rolling until March 20th. So we've got, I don't know, just a little over a week left, I guess, right? Maybe a little less than 2 weeks.
Yep.
The Winter Games is a series of online tournaments, fitness challenges, and fun for anyone, events where you can enter and compete for your opportunity to win thousands in cash prizes. And guess what? You don't even need to be like the best player in the world to participate in these things. And there's games that aren't even exactly esports games. Like Synth Riders, for example, was a part of the summer games. Isn't that right, Whirl?
Yep, definitely.
That's
And
awesome.
look, usually when we do the summer games, we always run challenges alongside for people who don't necessarily want to compete in terms of the Master League and the high accuracy stuff. We run this stuff alongside of it to really encourage just everybody to get in and play the game in different ways that they wouldn't normally play. So yeah, those are always a really important part of running those games. Yeah.
Right. And Kat, Boombox VR was a part of were you guys in the summer games as well?
Now we're in the Winter Games last year, and funny story about it, we just released the game, and we're getting the release out there, and we connected with awesome VAL VR team who was there supportive, and so yeah, we participated, and I think the community absolutely loved it, and it was one of the probably best decisions we made to actually get the game out there.
Beautiful. We love the Val Squad. You know, we've been working with them to pull these episodes together, and they're just like nothing but good vibes, and it's really been fantastic. So if you're a VR player out there and you're like, I want to win cash prizes for playing VR games, then check out the Virtual Athletics League, because I really do think that's the most approachable way to get involved with competing and being in events and stuff like that.
Who doesn't want to win stuff and playing video games?
That's
right.
I mean, that's
Let's go.
Exactly.
That's a pretty good question. So, Kat, Skiva and I both just were introduced to Boombox VR this week, actually. I had not played this game before. I don't think Skiva had either. Right? And now we both have, and we've both had a chance to kind of try it out and play the game and see what our thoughts are. But maybe you can give us a brief introduction as to what Boombox VR is all about.
Well, the Boombox is all about the community. And since the day number one, we actually were sitting there with our development team and deciding how do we want to get out there and what new things we want to introduce to the community. But there was so many already awesome games out there. So one of the our key points were the user-generated content approach with the DMCA free music. We do something that we call pool of music, which means we already have more than 400 DMCA free songs for the community to create their own content. And the important part is that all that content is available freely for everybody who has a Boombox to download directly from the VR headset, which means also Quest Store and future PSVR users can download the songs directly from their headsets. And we are keep on growing with that. And always welcome more DJs. And actually tomorrow we're going to be introducing our new DJ also. But at the same time, you also can pet the cat in our game. And the cat is actually real. It's our real cat. Her name is Koopa. And she just following you and making you, I don't know, smile and laugh because she's very grumpy at all times. At the same time, we're also one of the first VR rhythm games that base our accuracy on the tempo. So actually, a rhythm is really important for our game.
Beautiful. Yeah, I think the game feels pretty good, and there are some features about the game that I really enjoyed. I like being able to kind of change your background, just like pick a level, you know, and it felt like very open and kind of like free flowing. When you guys were developing this game, because I find it interesting how important DCMA, right? I don't know the acronym.
DMCA.
What does that stand for? I don't even know what that stands for. Does anybody know?
Digital Millennium Copyright
Downloadable copyright.
Yeah. There's a Copyright Act. I want to say digital something. I've got Millennium in my head for some reason. I'm not sure.
I like that.
But yeah, just remember, it's like YMCA, but with a D. That's how you remember it.
DMCA. I will never forget it again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
You
the
can
best
sing,
mnemonic
you sing it
device
in your
I've ever
head.
heard.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to get a DMCA. It's really easy.
That's brilliant. That's so.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling it's like Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and it's a
right.
US specific. I think it's US specific where it originates, and it's a way for copyright holders to raise concerns about use of copyrighted material. So you can lodge a DMCA claim against things if you need to have them taken down from places of where they're published.
I wanted to talk a little bit. Oh, go ahead.
And then you can. Oh, I just wanted to add that then you can get the 3 strikes and your channel will be put down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I find it very interesting how seemingly important this is when it comes to rhythm games. Like it's so important. Like I'm curious as to like, why do you think it is that sharing rhythm game content is so important? And maybe, I don't know, who wants to start? World, do you want to start?
Content creators have always been a part of a thing, and definitely when it comes to VR and it comes to rhythm games, people just really love to share the way that they move, in response to music that they're playing. So it's definitely been something that's conscious. I do know that I would almost think that it's rhythm games more than anything else because music is at the heart of rhythm games. So whereas you might have lots of content creators streaming lots and lots of different games, when you're streaming a rhythm game, there is a lot of attention on digital rights management and making sure that whatever you're streaming, you have rights to do so, or that you have an understanding that whatever platform you're streaming it to has an arrangement in place that's going to look after your channel. So it's just purely because rhythm games, music goes hand in hand with rhythm games more so than most pancake games like non-VR games.
So what's the Synth Riders approach been like? Because I know that you guys have like some huge names, like major acts that are definitely not DMCA free. Thank you for giving me that mnemonic device.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take that thing to the grave with me.
You got that for life now.
I really do.
You got the village people in your head.
I do.
Yeah, definitely. For us, we do want to have those big names. Kluge has always had a background in music. We talked about that last time we spoke about how our game development studio grew out of a music magazine. So we've always had these long industry links, and with our CEO with the music magazine, and with our creative director being a DJ himself, like a nightclubbing DJ, there's that music pedigree. So we were never going to go away from large artists, but we always do want to make sure that we have relationships with labels like Monster Cat, FitXR, and 99 Lives, and we've got quite a good relationship with those 3 labels. So they provide mechanisms for players of our game to be able to have that known quantity when it comes to streaming that music. And so, for example, 99 Lives, you have the rights to be able to monetize that content. Like that's the license agreement that they have. You can monetize that on YouTube. FitXR and Monster Cat, you have to have different agreements with those. If you participate in the Monster Cat Gold system, you can monetize your content, and FitXR have a licensing agreement as well that lets you monetize if you have those arrangements with those labels. But every label is slightly different. So not every label, even if they are DMCA friendly, so they're publicly DMCA friendly, they don't always let you monetize everything. And so there's always these 2 aspects when it comes to content creation. One is that, yes, I can stream it without getting a strike. And as Katja was saying, you get those 3 strikes and you can lose your account. Nobody wants to have that happen. So there's whether you can actually stream it safely, but then whether you can monetize it, because content creators, not all of them want to do it for nothing. Mm-hmm. It's not fair to ask people to generate this content and make this content for nothing. So it's good when games have that balance of both things, to have it really clear to say this stuff you can monetize, this stuff you can stream with DMCA. Mm-hmm. And you always get these individual artists as well who are a bit different. So Dance with the Dead, for example, who's an artist that's in our synthwave packs, and an artist that we have a great fondness for. They have a public statement saying that you won't get a DMCA strike from them, provided that you don't use their music on channels that promote things like hate speech.
Wow.
And racism. So this stuff can get really, really specific, and it is very difficult to have this blanket, you can do this or you can't do this, when it comes to licensing big names. Mm-hmm. And then, it's just how it is. So for us, having these big names was something we were always going to do, but having that on the side, having a section that is there that says, yep, you can stream this stuff absolutely freely. This stuff over here is for you to enjoy. If you do stream it to YouTube, there will be demonetization that goes with it,
Right.
and that's just how it works. But having that well defined is something that's important.
Yeah, Kat, was the DMCA free thing an approach that you guys had from the very beginning, or was that like a decision that you made somewhere along the lines? And how important is content creation to you guys?
Well, that was the decision somewhere in the line, because we are gamers and we just started creating our own game at that time. So we actually did not yet understood the importance of the DMCA kind of situation there in the music. And so it's just like against the line. During the process of the creation, we were talking with the community a lot, and they actually taught us how important it is to have safe content there for them. And this is also how the idea of engaging indie musicians started also. So it's easier to work with the bigger labels from one side, because they have already everything packed and everything is already known there. While with the indies, you need to explore all the new things, but they are so helpful and so out there for you. So the DMCA free, it was like a really easy aspect while working with the indies. But again, YouTube is a really strange channel that still could issue some warnings for the people. So yeah, we developed this, the DMCA situation during the process of the game creation. But at the same time, we also known how community is important. And so Leave, for example, was one of the first tools that we implemented. And we started working with the modders. For example, one of the very known, really amazing modders from Synth Riders and Beat Saber community actually joined our team. And so he is providing us in-house tools for streamers. We have right now Twitch chat, which we just got pretty much by the way. And we also have already special cameras there, and we're working on more and more tools for the community. So yeah, trying to provide our community with everything they need to have a good time.
That's beautiful. And, you know, both of these games, Boombox VR and Synth Riders, are both live integrated, which is just absolutely massive. You know,
that's huge. That's huge because people need to know what they're playing, and what better way to show than to actually show the player inside of the game. It just translates so much better than just showing, you know.
Yeah, this trailer that I assume was made by Touj with Nazy for Boombox is Toge. Toge. I cannot believe I said that wrong.
Right?
Toge.
Yes.
Toge. This was made by. I assume this was made by Toge.
He's the best person out there.
He is.
He's incredible.
He is hands down the best.
Yeah, absolutely look up to that guy.
He's also very tall. He's also the tallest person out there.
He is.
Oh.
He's a tall dude, and he's a super nice guy. Like he's a good dude. You know, and frankly, it's like mixed reality footage is like really what put VR on the map. If you think about it, like
for real,
it was a Beat Saber video that went viral. Like boom, that is when people
featuring
really
Swan.
started.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. That's when they started taking off. So, you know, this kind of brings me to my next question here. You know, Beat Saber's been like deeply ingrained into the VR community from the very, very beginning. And I'm curious, do you feel like you're in direct competition with Beat Saber? Like, what are your thoughts as you develop and push a rhythm game when you have like a titan like Beat Saber kind of sitting over there in the corner? Maybe Kat, you can start.
Well, we internally as a team before and now and hopefully in the future will actually never consider ourselves being in the competitive industry, because we're all here for the entertainment, for having fun. How boring is it to play one game for the rest of your life? For example, me being also PC gamer, a Diablo streamer, for example.
Nice.
I always look for also games that are similar to Diablo, because I just love doing this. It's fun. I always go back to Diablo here and there, but there is always so much fun to explore in other games. While for the VR community, I really hope that we can, as a VR community, as VR developers, we could, you know, get together and actually create content that is fun and sharing, and, you know, there is so much we need to explore, and VR development is quite new. I mean, it's been there for 20 years or so, but it just feels like there was such a hike during the COVID. So people will need more content. So we need to create more content, more fun content. And we hopefully our community will also kind of stop seeing the game developers as the competitors, also just accept that we are making video games that you should enjoy. If you don't like the game, you will have much more. And if you don't like specific games, someone else will like it. So this is why we're here. We are all working together, hopefully.
I think that's really true, especially in the VR community. You know, like I feel like it's really like the experiencing different titles in VR is like, it's like almost crucial, you know, like I think it's so important to like move through different vibes, because like when you're embodied in a space like that, like you're literally vibing off of that game and everything feels different. You know, it feels different to play Beat Saber than it does to play Boombox than it does to play Synth Riders. Whirl, what are your thoughts as we're talking about this?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, we have a saying, you know, whenever someone says, oh, you know, Synth Riders is just Beat Saber from Wish or whatever, we say, look, it's not illegal to like more than one game. You can like more than one game. It's fine. Like personally, like I love O-Shape. I play a fair bit of O-Shape and Audio Shield. I always go back to play the original, the original VR rhythm game. Shield. And I still play it today.
Old school.
I love it. Yep. So it's not illegal to like more than one game. I think we don't sort of see ourselves as competing with Beat Saber either, because, you know, maybe when both games first came out, you could see the similarities in areas, but everybody is just so divergent now, you know. I think anyone who just makes that simple comparison that just says, oh, it's a clone of this, a clone of that, hasn't really looked at the game in the last 3 years, you know.
Yeah.
Ever since we've added things like spin mode and spiral mode, you know, we make these really interesting decisions when, like, we have the similarity in terms of the music pack approach to ongoing development. We're doing ongoing development with those as well. But we're developing other things as well that really pushing our game in different directions in every direction at once. Sometimes it feels like. But yeah, the comparison, I think, is no longer holding water. I don't think you can do that. And what I'm really hoping is that actually all of our communities can feel more comfortable not having to nail their colours to one game or another. Like, I think that's what winds up perpetuating that feeling of competition between studios. And Katia, you were saying like about how you want to make sure that community understands that your developers are not competing with each other. Your developers actually want to work with each other, and they want to create engaging experiences that everyone can enjoy. Yeah. And have that opportunity to do, you know, to explore what does Smash Drums look like with another game, like with a completely different game. What does Smash Drums look like with O-Shape? What would it look like if those two did a crossover? And developers want to have that freedom to be able to work together. And part of that means that our communities need to understand that we don't need you to defend us. We don't need you to say, you know, go charging in and saying, no, Synth Riders is better than this. We don't actually need that. What we do want is that our communities to embrace each other and to say, hey, if you like this game, you might like this game. Or if you're coming from this game, this is how you translate your skills to the other game. Dude, well, these are the differences. I think it's really important.
Is Boombox VR Smash Drums meets Beat Saber?
It kind of is, you know. I was playing it and I was kind of thinking that. I'm like, this is kind of like the you know, the anime, you know, Beat Saber version.
Do you think that's a fair assessment, Kat?
I don't even know. We've been called all different ways. We've been called Synth Riders and Beat Saber and Ragnarok having a baby. Oh, yeah. And then the Boombox appeared. Now then Smash and Drums. We've been actually looking at those guys' progression since they also came out. And it was really awesome to see their direction and that we went kind of different directions as well. So yeah. I don't know. We're just babies of all the babies. Well, what's important is the Beat Saber's grandfather. So
yes,
and Audio Shield's the grandfather of all of that. Like,
this is true.
Mustn't forget. It was really funny when Audio Shield launched itself on Quest. People were saying, "Oh, Audio Shield's a clone of Beat Saber," and I'm like, what?
That's a weird one. That's a weird one.
How does that work that you're your own grandchild? It's crazy. Yeah. Time machine involved somewhere there.
I really used to love that game. I really did. And the fact that you could like plug in any URL for any YouTube music song and it would just automatically create a level and generate it right then and there was so cool. It was so cool. And the haptics is one of those games that really nailed rhythm game haptics as well. It was great. But yeah, I mean,
there's nothing like plugging a 20-minute prog rock song that you know that you're never ever going to see in any other game into Audio Shield. Have it off you go. There's something special about that.
Kat, you mentioned earlier.
We're all children of Bermani too. That's the thing we often forget. You know, VR rhythm game would be nothing without the tradition of Bermani games coming before it. Like,
true.
Like just think about DDR and all of those conga rhythm games. Those arcades filled with Bermani, you know, we're all children of that, and it's really important to think that Beat Saber was not the first,
right?
And it won't be the last. And it's about exploring different ideas, and we all have heritage that goes back to flat games before.
Well, a rising tide raises all ships. Yeah. So
before I get too far away from it, I need to clear something up. Kat, earlier when you were mentioning Boombox VR on PSVR. Did you say that PSVR players will be able to participate in custom maps on that?
Well, yes. Already Quest. Okay, I want to start this in that we are not yet on PSVR. We've been accepted as their developers, but we have not yet completed all of the legal procedures there. At the same time, we were able to deliver all the custom maps to Quest without having, so you don't have to have any. And we are also on HE, for example, it also works really well. Well, we're also getting on Pico very soon. So yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to accommodate that.
I think Beat Saber players will jump ship just for that.
Yeah,
on PSVR.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, because they have no custom songs on PSVR, and there's so many Beat Saber players that wish they could and can't. You know, I bet you people would jump ship just for that.
And that's for your music library too, which is, you know, to be able to have that extensive music library of those included songs. Like that's the library that you're talking about bringing over. It's a really good thing, and to be able to have, you know, multiple maps for those to let people who so PSVR players would be able to create maps for songs that they have access to in that DMCA library, and then be able to share them onto PSVR and to their friends. That's a really good feature, and, you know, say kudos for being able to do that.
Yeah, and our editor is created for the PC, so pretty much anyone can create any level and then just ship it to all the headsets.
That's great.
Cannot wait to get to PSVR. Come on, let's go.
It's gonna be awesome.
No, it's gonna be so good. The PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Stoked.
You know, music, then you guys kind of mentioned this earlier, but like music, it really is like at the heart of all of this, you know? And I think it's people's love for music that makes these games so easy to connect with. I personally don't believe anyone if they say that they hate music. I don't. It's like I don't. Like I think music and like rhythm and vibration is like a part of being human for a lot of us. And I think we all have a musician deep down within us that just hasn't been tapped yet, you know? Like I really believe that. And you can fight me on it if you want. But where I'm going with this is there are people out there who probably say, I don't like rhythm games. And I would challenge them to maybe find the right game and understand that connecting with timing and rhythm and music is good for like everyone. So what I want to know is, do you guys have any advice for people who might just come out and just like immediately say, nope, I don't like rhythm games and I'm just not going to play this?
I would say that's fine. There's heaps, you know, what an amazing time we live in to be in VR, where you can have a million other different experiences, not rhythm games, in VR. Go and find something that you do enjoy. You know, no one wants to force anybody to do something that they don't like. But it's one of those things that I suspect that people may just need to try several different rhythm games, and also not be frightened to start a rhythm game on a lower difficulty level. Like that can be one of the real problems when people try and move between rhythm games and they say, oh, well, I'm an Expert Plus player in Beat Saber, therefore I should instantly start at the top level in every other game that they go into before they've had time to familiarize themselves with mechanics. There's a certain amount of transfer, but you do need to have time to acclimatize yourself to the mechanics and the way that each development team has implemented those around the rules and mechanics of each game.
There's a part of
no
me,
big deal.
But there's a part of me that's like, it's like the parent that's like trying to give the kid like a spoonful of like pudding or something, and the kid's like, no, I don't like it. And they're like, yes, like just try it, you know, like
just try it.
Like
it's very true. Just try it. Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I want to just like stuff that spoon into people's faces so they can try and be like, okay, wait a second. Okay, no, maybe you're right. Kat, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking that there are so many different types of rhythm games that probably important part of the question would be why they don't like it, just to understand what happened to them while they were
What
trying.
happened to
Maybe
you?
somebody stepped on their foot while they were in the VR game, and so they have trauma. Or maybe something else. Maybe they tried the game they wouldn't like. For example, they don't like drumming, so they tried Boombox for the first time, and they're like, oh no, rhythm games, it's not something I would like. But then look at, for example, pistol whip there. You're shooting. Who doesn't like shooting? So, and there are also more music enhanced games versus rhythm games that we tend to call them all rhythm games, while they're not really. So maybe they don't like dancing or moving at the rhythm, but they still would like to perform some action with the music, with some awesome music. And rhythm games have different types of musics out there. So maybe they don't like techno, then they could go to something and just to check some other stuff or environment. Maybe they don't like lightning in their faces, and they're like, oh, I don't like rhythm games. So maybe also understanding why and trying different types, that would be really helpful for them, for the people.
I think
People
that's
cannot
good.
not like rhythm games. It's music, it's life.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it is, but you can't force someone to like something that they don't like.
No,
know?
you can't.
And there are games like Thumper, things like Thumper and other games like that, which don't necessarily require you to do physical, because it could just be that they don't like to be in VR doing rhythm games. And there may be, like I said, Bamani. There's so many Bamani out there. They may like one of the games with the conga drums that you smack with your hands. They may find something that they like. They might like Guitar Hero. It may be a case of finding a peripheral or even a flat screen game that will give them what they want, spin rhythm, something like that. There are so many rhythm games, both in VR and outside of VR. It's very hard to think of someone not finding something that they might like. But if they don't like it, it's okay. It's okay too. There's lots of different options.
That's really
and you were
nice.
talking about like music enhanced games, like I say, I think of Thumper, but I also think of something like Rez. So Rez for me is a fantastic game, and it has a rhythm component to it, but it's not necessarily the dominant thing. It's there and it enhances the whole experience. And those things like frequency, amplitude, those sorts of older games which fit into the rhythm game genre because of the music enhancement, but they may find that they enjoy those experiences more than a Beat Saber or a No Shape or a Synth Riders. They may enjoy those things more. Yeah, it might be the gateway they need.
What are you thinking, Skiva? How you doing?
I'm thinking I love rhythm games, and I love both of these games. So yeah, it's a win-win for me.
So what's the future of the genre look like? Like right now, there's a handful of different kinds of experiences. You can shoot stuff in Audio Trip and Pistol Whip, and you can hit stuff with the sticks and Beat Saber and Boombox, and you can put your hands and glide around in Synth Riders. But like, that's kind of defined by our hardware. It's defined by the technology that we're using. Where do you see the world of rhythm games going in the future? Do you have any kind of like fun predictions or cool things that you'd like to see develop in the genres as we move forward, Worrell?
I do think peripherals. I think peripherals is, like you were talking about, hardware limitations, and I think the next thing that we'll see what happens. So I'm thinking crazy peripherals. And then I'm also thinking body tracking. As soon as the Quest gets proper body tracking, and don't think that it won't, it will. Yeah. Once we have a more control over hands-free and body tracking, I think things are going to get very interesting very soon. So, we've sort of seen it in PCVR. And if you have a look at where PCVR is at with body tracking, the way that people are modifying games to deliver what is effectively Dance Rush stardom. The Dance Rush stardom is an arcade experience where you are shuffling to the rhythm. The modifying rhythm games, the modding scene in Beat Saber has done that. Feet Saber is that mod. Mm-hmm. So once we get more formal lower body tracking, things will start to go another level, because you're taking those experiences we've had with things like Just Dance, like the Kinect versions of Just Dance, and then you're marrying it with an immersive experience for the player. That starts to get really, really interesting. And to see what people do once they can track not only your body in that sort of 2D plane with the depth camera, but in a much more enhanced way in 3D. I think that'll get really interesting. And then crazy peripherals. So think about what could happen if you have the peripherals to change the way that things work. What kind of props could you have? What could be some crazy hardware that could go with it? Yeah, I'm really interested to see, because you think about, again, we go look at flat rhythm games, those props like the Guitar Hero guitars, Rock Band, the drums, the congas, the different control mechanisms that you have. Well, we've had virtualized versions of those in VR, but there's something special about tactile sensation. And so crazy hardware, like you think we've got Unplugged, which is like the finger tracking Guitar Hero equivalent, but it's still not the same doing this as feeling the feel of the strum bar and the tactile sensation. So
true, but as I've said about this game before, this game is supposed to be air guitar. And if you did feel something, it wouldn't be air guitar anymore. It would just be guitar.
It wouldn't. But just to think about Guitar Hero, I'm thinking,
I love Guitar Hero.
there's potential here. Yeah. So there's tactile. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. By the way, Unplugged is one of the very first games to get a native integration with the bHaptics Tact Glove, which was just announced at CES. It feels so good with the Tact Glove.
It does.
You feel the string. You feel the strum. You feel when you're pushing on your fingertips. And it is definitely my favorite demo with the gloves right now. It's really cool.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. What do you think, Kat? What's in the future for rhythm games?
Well, of course, full body tracking is a really important aspect. And you can definitely clearly see how people are craving for these jumps and squats in specific ways and kicking with their legs. So I feel like majority of the rhythm games will be adapting also to the full body tracking. So maybe in a couple of years, Boombox and Synth Rider will not be Boombox and Synth Rider anymore. Something a little bit different. But let's also not forget about the metaverse and all the hype around it. So hopefully one day we'll be able to get to some metaverse rhythm space where you can actually try all the rhythm games in that metaverse. And I really hope this will happen. So, just being there and playing all the rhythm games, that would be fantastic, because we have so many different types of rhythm games. But for example, myself, I have at least 6 installed, and I would love to try more, but then the space is limited. So I feel like many people are having the same issue. You cannot try them all right away.
Right.
So having something shared space, that would be fantastic.
Totally. So what's in the pipeline now? Like what's kind of like the next thing that you guys are planning on doing with Boombox?
We have at least 2 awesome features coming out. We really hope to release them this month. The first of all, we are gonna be introducing WTB software for the semi-automatic tournament organization. Woo-hoo. And the Boombox room that you can see with the drum room. I mean, it's gonna be the tournament room. So you can also organize your own tournament. Nobody needs to be there. So we're gonna be really rocking this. I'm pretty sure it's so fun. And the other one, we're actually updating our lobby and our UI to make it easier, more clear, and just more organized, because now we had this good chance to learn from the community. And so we want to help them to also understand and navigate through the game. So that those 2 awesome things. And we are onboarding the new DJ tomorrow, so stay tuned for that.
Sweet. Well, it sounds like it's a good time to get involved with some Boombox VR. There's a link in the description below. Everyone, please click on that and go check this game out, because some fun updates are in the pipeline, and you can get in before they come, so that way it's fun and exciting when they land.
Boom.
Yeah. What about Synth Riders? What can we look forward to?
Well, stuff I can't talk about.
Well, of course.
That's always the hard thing. But you can always guarantee that we're working on our music packs. And yeah, so stay tuned.
Epic music packs flying out hot, everybody. It's going to blow your mind, the music pack that's being worked on right now. She can't say anything, but it's going to be great.
Can't say anything. Yeah. No. We're always working on bits and pieces behind the scenes. So but yeah, so much of it I just can't talk about right now, because we're at that tricky point. But definitely you'll definitely see more from us in the social side of things too. Nice. Did you play the arcade cabinet?
I haven't played the arcade cabinet.
No, I haven't either.
You should play the arcade cabinet.
Okay, I'm going to do that today.
I will say Synth Riders continues to surprise me, like with these immersive environments and like new approaches to doing things. It's obvious that it's a passionate team who really cares about the product that they're putting out. So thank you, and thank your team for us on behalf of the VR community for doing such great things.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess at this point we should prepare for a segment change.
Yes.
But Whirl, it's been amazing having you on again. And Kat, it was great to meet you and have you on the show. Best of luck to both of your teams. And thanks for being a part of Between Realities today.
It's been delightful.
All right. Well, everyone,
thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Please, everyone, say goodbye to the ladies. Thank you for joining us today. And hang tight while we change our scenes over and get our next set of guests on. This is a good opportunity for you to like and subscribe. Boom.
It is.
Do it.
And we'll see you in a few minutes.
See you in just a second, everybody.
Be right back.
So we are back, everybody. Thank you for your patience while we have shifted into our next segment, all about VR fitness. That's right, everybody, is the VR fitness segment of the special Virtual Athletics League VR Winter Games special. And joining us is Kelly from FitXR. She is the director of fitness at FitXR. Kelly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We also have Eric from Verzoom, aka VZFit, and he's the co-founder and CEO of Verzoom. So thanks, Eric, for being here with us.
My pleasure, guys.
VR and fitness. It's like, I feel like fitness is like the thing that all the companies are kind of trying to get behind to drive as like the primary use of virtual reality. Kelly, would you say that that fitness is like the number one thing that is pushing VR sales right now?
It's pretty hot right now, I have to be honest. It's you know what, I think that when they were first creating it, virtual reality wasn't really thinking of fitness, but honestly, since COVID, fitness, especially at home, has taken off so much. Peloton really kicked that off, and you see that trend and everything. So I think that now the headset, it's a natural adaptation. So I think it makes sense, and I think it's going to continue. And I think what's really unique is that we're able to use it in ways and to tailor the workouts to people that typically probably would not be doing fitness. So I think in that regard, people are noticing that this taps the fitness market, which is already huge, into a whole nother market of people that are now have access to this. So it's pretty incredible. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that fitness is quite the trend in VR at the moment.
I feel like you're one of those people, Skiva. It's like you are just like, you're like VR is like the reason for you to be able to get some exercise.
I have a hard time getting myself to go to the gym. To me, I don't like the environment. I don't like a lot of the egos there. It's just not my thing. But if I'm going to work out, which I've been trying to do, it's going to be in VR.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. It's the only way it's happening. So yeah.
Eric, were you involved in the VR space before VZFit came along? And what's your take on fitness in the market of VR right now?
Well, we got to start. My co-founder and I got together and started testing this idea of exercise in virtual reality back in 2014. And it didn't take us long to figure out that the immersive quality of VR was so powerful for motivating fitness for activity beyond what you could do with a flat screen. We launched the company just a few months later in the early part of 2015, and we launched had our first shipping products in 2016.
Tell us.
And the feedback that we got from our customers was they're just blown away. You can just see how effective it was at getting people who kind of reluctantly tried I don't know if I'm going to want to work out with a headset on. I'm going to sweat in the headset. And they put it on, they try it, and they forget all about that in 2 seconds, and they're just off and running.
Tell us a little bit about VZFit, because I have not had an opportunity to check this out.
Well, we have 2 applications. One is VZFit, and it uses Google Street View images to allow you to ride anywhere in the world mapped by Google. They've mapped 10 million miles of roads all over the world, and you can go and put on the headset, pick one of our 60 curated rides. Our customers have created about 3,000 rides on their own and contributed them, think of it as kind of crowdsourcing. And they can discover just great places to go. You can go to Ireland, you can ride across South America or Japan or Russia, and it's just the drive is exploration, right, primarily, and you're getting this great workout while you're exploring the world.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, the other application is called VZ Play, and these are games that are entirely created in Unity. So the worlds are a range of things. The most obvious thing would be cycling. So you're cycling through a ocean road in California, Tour de France, an application called the Tour. So you're pedaling a bike and you're riding your bike in VR. Pretty easy thing to grasp. But beyond that, again, we let you move all kinds of different vehicles and different activities. So we have tank battles, flying a Pegasus through the air, racing Formula One cars. Because in VR, you're not restricted to the real world. You can make up the world and make up activities.
So I actually was able to try this. And I got to use the, there's, for people who might not know, there's a piece that you can put on an exercise bike, right? And it actually tracks how fast you're going. And
just like a regular exercise bike?
Yeah. You can put this thing on any exercise bicycle, right? And then,
correct.
Yeah, and it's so cool. So I did a thing where I was kind of riding on the road, and then I also did another thing where I was riding, and it was like making a horse run, and like it was really, really cool, and it was a super good way to get some exercise in. I got to try this at an expo at a convention because I don't have the hardware and I don't have an exercise bike here, but it makes me like VZFit makes me want to get one. It really does, because it is a really, really cool way to work out.
So is that like a piece of hardware that you guys have that, like, I don't know, that you like purchase or, in addition to the game or something?
Well, there's two ways you can use it. You can actually use it without a bike. So most of our customers are standing mode. They're using the hand controllers and the headset alone, and their body movements, either with a trainer, giving them guidance on what to do, moves them through the world. Or you can also use it with a bike. And all you have to do is dust off that bike in the basement that you haven't been using for the last 10 years and put a $35 cadence sensor on it that you bought off Amazon, and then you're good to go.
Is that like a Bluetooth connection then? Like it connects to the headset or something?
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so the headset automatically detects it when you start pedaling. And again, the faster you pedal the bike in the real world, the faster you move in the virtual world. And all you have to do to steer is lean. So this very simple mechanism translates into this really natural feeling activity in virtual reality.
Well, congratulations. It looks pretty awesome. And I love the idea of being able to buy a peripheral off of Amazon.
Yep.
Connecting it and having it work.
Yep.
That's sweet. So FitXR tell us about the current state of FitXR, because this is a game that has undergone quite a few radical changes over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So what you may be referring to is Box VR.
Yes.
So we've pretty much expanded what we have, and what we want it to be is you come to FitXR and you have options, and it's not a one fits all. And we realize that with fitness, that it's not just a one style approach. So we have 3 different studios at the moment. We have box, we have dance, and then we have HIIT training. We are adding to those, so heads up. But so currently our box classes feel kind of like that Beat Saber, Guitar Hero vibes. You have the cues coming at you, it's really interactive. Our HIIT studio, this is more based on reaction times. You're hitting things, getting tracked on how many targets you can hit within a certain amount of time, while also doing traditional fitness movements, which is really great, and moving in all different planes of motion. And then with dance, this is kind of like your DDR dreams coming true. You have an avatar with you, you're going through each of the moves, you're growing on it, building on it, and learning the choreography, and it's just a good amount of fun. So this is pretty much where we're at right now, and like I said, we're expanding it, and that's kind of where we continue to go.
So how real are these workouts, right? Like, can someone actually turn their life around by playing these VR games? And do you think that these can be a replacement for traditional workout routines?
Absolutely. Honestly, like, it just,
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Kelly.
So I come from a fitness background, and I'm used to being in the gym, and I'm used to working with those, with that clientele. And I think that this can be a tool for anyone. So this can be supplemental for you if you do enjoy going to the gym. You like going to an in-person class, that's great. You can also have the amazing ability to go turn on your headset on a day and just get your workout at home and have this immersive experience. But then if you haven't worked out before, or you have worked out before, nothing's really hitting it, and VR is really getting you excited to work out, then this totally works for you. So it's absolutely a real sweat. It's a real workout. And where I want to go with it is to make it even more fitness based. So that way you have the same impact that you would with going to the gym. And it's not that it doesn't now, but like even turning that up more. So it almost, what my vision is for this to really translate into real fitness spaces as well. So that way, my whole thing personally is like creating less boundaries for fitness, and fitness can feel hard for people, and it can feel really, just like it's not for you. But fitness is for everyone. And what I want the games to feel like is, oh, I saw that lateral lunge in FitXR and now I'm doing it in my class. Or I feel confident going to the gym because I did something just like this in FitXR. So like I want, or like you feel confident going to a boxing class and that no longer feels intimidating. So to summarize that, it's real classes, real application, and I think that it's only going to get, as we have the technology change, it's going to get more and more real and transferable, and that's from both directions.
Nice. What are your thoughts, Eric?
Well, look, working out in virtual reality is not that much different in a lot of ways from working out in the real world. It's obviously more convenient. You can do it, you slip on a headset and you're at home and have to change your clothes and drive to the gym, and there's all that prep and transition time that you do away with. That convenience contributes to one of the reasons people like it. But at the end of the day, if it's not enjoyable, if you don't get something out of it, you're not going to keep doing it, right? And that's what it's really all about. It's not. There's so many fads, in the fitness industry that come and go, and people try this and they try that. The joke is John drank Fit Tea for 3 weeks and all he lost was $500. So I mean, the reality is that this industry has been full of that kind of thing, and but VR fitness is a very different animal. It's really an entirely new way of getting exercise, and of course, it's not going to be for everybody, but for the people that it's for, it genuinely produces not just short-term results, but long-term results. We have customers that have been using our product consistently for years on end, and they don't get tired of it. They look forward to doing it. They don't think of it as, I should, get on VZFit. They're like, I get to be on VZFit now for an hour. And some of these people will, we have these challenges where you're competing and to go hundreds of miles, and some of our customers will complete this in a few days, and they're in their 60s and 70s. And they're riding they're retired, so they have the time. So they're riding 3, 4, 5 hours a day.
Wow.
And we get reports of people who started off they hadn't worked out for a long time. They were in terrible shape. They found this thing called VZFit that they thought was really fun and let them explore the world or play these games, and they just gradually, without pushing themselves to do it, found themselves losing weight and feeling better, and that also feeds back into their desire to continue doing it, because not only is it fun, but it's actually producing results.
Mm-hmm. So we just got a $5 super chat from our friend Laszlo216.
Nice.
Hey,
thank you, Laszlo.
Thank you for the super chat. And he's asking, are these programs subscription based? And that was actually one of the kind of the topics that I wanted to have a chance to get to. I don't know about VZFit, so I guess we'll find out in a second. But I do know that FitXR used to be BoxFix. I mean, do you want to tell the story, Kelly?
Absolutely. So we used to be that you would just pay and you would get X amount of classes, and that was our model. So you would purchase a certain amount of classes, and then as of last year, we went into a subscription model. But this is really an amazing thing because we've been able to deliver constant updates and new content for our customers. So we went to just having our set amount of classes to now producing a brand new class every day of the week. And actually just recently in March, we just launched collections. So this is a way of making it easier for people to find content. In another month, we're releasing more of some cooldowns. Don't tell anybody. But like I said, it's really just based on giving more content with that subscription. So we do have 2 different paths for us. So we have monthly, which is $9.99, and then we have a year, which is $84.99. Sorry, $83.99. There we go.
$3.99.
Yeah, so it's kind of like whatever path you want to go, and yeah, we found that it's really been successful for us.
That's great. So what was things are pretty good then, because I feel like you guys kind of had to like, I don't know how do I say this, like fight for yourselves or something. Like you kind of came under some heavy fire when you switched over, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Alex, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, we did, and I think that our CEO Sam has done a really great job talking to the community and owning the fact that the way that we moved to a subscription model, it wasn't the right way, and we took that learning, and now we are so focused on listening to our customers and so focused on making sure that any changes that we make, this is something that's broadcast. We want transparency, and we've actually really been seeing that a lot of people have undone their negative reviews for us, which has been wonderful. And we've given a nod to the legacy users that we have that were part of FitXR before it was subscription based, and we're making sure that they have a wonderful experience and that they're not forced into the subscription base. So making these changes has really been a huge game changer for us, no pun intended.
Right.
But I think that we have a much better relationship with our legacy users and continue to have a great relationship with our subscribers. So yeah, there was some hot drama, but I think we have shaken hands and we're moving forward.
I think so too. And I think people are getting more comfortable with the idea of having a subscription model for games like this, especially as they've started to see what studios can do when that's the case. Like you said, daily updates and things like that. So that's really good to hear. And I'm glad that you've managed to bounce back and not let something like that kind of stop you in the tracks, and you just plowed through it and kept going. So kudos to you and the team for making that happen. What about VZFit? What's the payment situation like over there?
Well, VZFit is a streaming service, right? It's not, in many ways, it's not unlike something like Peloton, where you're paying for a continuous online service. We're streaming Google Street View data to you. Obviously, there's a cost associated with that, and there's a value to our customers, ongoing value, which is access to, as I said before, 10 million miles of roads. So, it really lends itself to a subscription model. So it's always been subscription based, and we try to keep it simple. It's $9.99 a month or $99.95 a year. That's it.
Boom. There it is. And like I just said, I feel like if you're bringing something to the table every day, people are getting more and more comfortable with these kinds of things, especially because a VR thing like this, or a fitness experience like this, isn't like a VR game. Like this is kind of like a lifestyle choice,
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, no, I'm gonna start working out every day.
Sure.
And when you do that, the value, as you said, Eric, is there. So that's good to hear. And I don't hate the subscription thing. What do you think?
I don't either. So, I mean, I was kind of one of the mad people when FitXR switched over, because I had purchased it on Quest, Steam, and Rift, and then it wasn't long after that it turned to subscription. I was kind of bummed, but going forward with other services, with you look at all of these different subscription fitness services and how they're able to continuously improve and get better and offer new things that wouldn't have been possible before. Right. I am now a believer in that. I do agree it wasn't handled the best maybe by FitXR, but at the same time, I think we're coming through.
We own it. You can say it.
but either way, it's some really cool software right now. Like I said, working out in VR for me is the only way I'm going to work out. Otherwise, just I'm gonna be a fat gamer, so this is what it is.
RobynzReality generously donating a $6.99 super chat. You couldn't have made it $7.
Thank you, Robin.
Just kidding. We love you. And she's got a question too. And I think this one is really for Kelly. It says, I was told that VR fitness without proper weights can be problematic. And have you found that this is the case? And are there safe ways to add them to sessions?
Yeah. So there's definitely some pieces there. One, I would say, is that it depends on the exercise, but just like with shadow boxing in like non-VR world in real life, you can actually hyperextend. You can get some injuries from that. So very similarly, it can happen in VR. With boxing specifically, we actually just started adding voiceover into our classes to help you coach you through form and how to keep it safe. Same thing with we have a VO in our voiceover, in our HIT classes and dance classes as well, to make sure that our coaches are telling you how to be safe with it. With adding the weights, I would say that you can add, at FitXR, we have wrist weights, and it's, with any weight training, it's meeting yourself where you're at. So if it feels like it's too much, and it might be for a 20-minute class, that might feel different than using weights for a 5-minute class. So it's kind of just feeling out how your body feels. And if you notice that after a workout that you're feeling something that doesn't quite feel right, muscular soreness and muscular pain definitely feel different. So just listening to your body and seeing if you want to increase weight, or if you want to take away weight, then those are all important things. Another thing to be weary of is also your space and around you. I think that's kind of where unsafety can happen. Eric, I know that you guys are typically more stationary, but for us, we're kind of moving left, right, up, down, all over. So I would be lying to you if I said that I have never hit that air conditioner behind me. So making sure that you have enough space is also important, especially with weight training too. I hope that answers your question.
I think
if I missed it,
Kiwi
let me know.
just recently came out with some weights that you can clip onto the front of your Quest controllers.
Yeah, they go in the ring.
Yeah, they do, and they look really cool, and they add some of that benefit to be able to work out with some extra weight on your controllers. I was actually thinking about picking those up because...
Well, I've got a set, so you can try them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Eric, what do you have to add to this?
Well, I was just going to say, when we were designing our standing mode version of VZFit, a lot of thought went into that, into the question of safety, making sure that you're staying in the safe area, and and you're also doing lunges and other kinds of arm movements. And one of the ways that we address the problem is by you have to stand at a particular place in order to continue moving forward. So there's all those cues that remind you, I'm getting too far away out of the safe area. So far we haven't had any incidents, but as Kelly said, when you're seated on a bike, obviously that's you don't have that problem because you're seated, you have your hands on the handlebars and you're pedaling through the world. But the other part of that is your body may be restricted to this pedaling and leaning, but your avatar is moving with 6 degrees of freedom. You're flying, with free motion through the world. So it's a great mechanism for there's a huge range of different kinds of activities.
Beautiful. So, we're in the headsets, we're sweating, and we're probably trashing this equipment out, right? I have a Quest 1 that I use primarily for my workouts for that reason, because I feel like I'm just soaking this thing basically every time I use it. I'm sure there are folks out there who worry about the hygienic aspects of this, who don't have a Quest 1 and a Quest 2 sitting around to be able to just soak one in sweat every week and leave the other one for my gaming. Some people only have the one headset, and they certainly don't want to trash it out. So what are some of your best hygienic practices? Eric, we'll start with you when it comes to the equipment, and what can you say to folks who are maybe concerned about some of that?
Well, if it's yours and you're at home, it's obviously not as much of a problem as if you're sharing it with other people. Thinking back at maybe that trade shows that you tried it at, back before the pandemic, we would go to E3 and all these other shows, and people would line up and they'd put on this headset and they'd pedal away for a while, and then we'd wipe it off and hand it to the next person. Nobody thought anything of it. Now, of course, that would be a little more challenging. We also used to sell to commercial gyms. We had a partnership with Life Fitness and sold into YMCA and all kinds of health clubs all over the world. And in that case, people were just walking to the gym and sharing a headset. And we had a stand that was actually built into it with wipes, so they could wipe it down with a sanitary napkin. But generally speaking, for the version you use at home, the Quest 2 comes with a liner and that seems to work quite well for everyone.
That's right. It does come with a liner now, doesn't it? I remember they sent me one later on. Yeah, that's good
because the foam was trashing everybody's faces.
Yeah, because they would sweat in it. It would degrade the foam. It would then it would like mess with people's faces.
People were breaking out in rashes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. But it's good that they're able to kind of rectify that, right? That actually Meta is actually sending this stuff out now because this is a big deal, and they know that fitness is a huge part of their business.
Right. They push it like it's like their primary advertising platform for it. And I mean, I forget, frankly, that everyone doesn't replace the facial interface the second they get their Quest.
I know. I immediately go
first
VR
thing
cover.
that I'm doing. Yeah. Yep. So what are you using the stock facial interface over there on the Quest, Kelly?
I am not actually. That I know you just said that everyone, that's the first thing that they do, but no, that's not what I do.
So
I'd have to pass this one off to Eric.
I mean, the difference is one, as you say, that comes with it is absorbent, right? So if you're sweating, it absorbs sweat. And depending on who it is, it's a good thing or a bad thing. If you're out in the sun playing softball, you got a cap on, it's absorbing the sweat. That actually comes in pretty handy. And that's also true of a VR headset if you're the kind of person who tends to sweat a lot. And you can always just pull it off and rinse it off or throw in the washer. So that's really not a big deal. But other people find it more comfortable to use a non-absorbent silicone liner that comes as an option with the Quest 2. And that's obviously doesn't absorb sweat. You just wipe it off.
Yeah, well, it's hard to do, though, when you're in the middle of a workout and then a bead of salt blasts your eyeball and ignites it into fire, which happens to me all the time with my VR cover.
Yeah.
Because it's not absorbent either, so it's like sliding in, then it hits the eye, and you're like...
Yeah. Whenever you're going to put anything on your face or your forehead, this is definitely an issue. What I tend to do when I'm working out in VR is, even though I'm using a VR cover, which is not absorbent, I will often put on a headband, like an old school absorbent headband, right? And it kind of catches it from going down from your headset into your
VR with
eyes.
Jasmine's been telling me to do that too. I guess that's what she does as well.
It works well. So there's a little tip for you guys. I won't even charge you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would actually, from another problem that I feel like with the headset is the fogging up.
Totally.
That's usually an issue for me. And a trick that we've been talking about internally is using dish soap, like just a little bit of dish soap and cleaning the lens with it, and that seems to keep it at bay for a bit.
Interesting. I never heard that.
It works really well.
I have not personally tried this, but this is the rumor mill that's going on in FitXR.
What works,
this
Eric?
could be a technique for people.
Well, this is something my co-founder discovered many years ago. Anybody here do any like scuba diving or so you have
yeah.
Exactly. It works perfectly. And
my God!
It's a charming name, Spit. And it's an alternative to actually using spit, but I guess chemically it's probably similar, and it prevents fogging.
Well, so what? I mean, Mr. Hardware, is this okay? Can we do this to our lenses?
I would say the dish soap is probably not a great thing. I have no idea what the deal is with the spit stuff besides your actual spit, right? But I don't know.
Do you ever use your own real spit when you're cleaning your lenses?
No, I do not. What I do is I try to use fans. First of all, I always blast, when I'm working out especially, I always blast a fan at me. As high as it can go. There are also fans that you can get that attach to the facial interface of the Quest and blow air directly onto your forehead and into the headset area.
That helps.
And these are both huge with controlling how much you're going to sweat when you're working out, because you're working out, right? You're going to sweat. Most people are going to sweat into their headset. I remember the original HTC Vive had a lot of issues with their seals, and it would break the Vives pretty easily. But the Quest and the Quest 2, not so much of an issue. But you do want to be careful with those lenses because you can't replace them. So
Yeah, I agree.
Let the team know you said so.
Yeah, they're going to continue to use dish soap, okay? They don't care. But, Skiva handles all of his stuff with kids' gloves. So I was like, there's no way you would put...
No, I wouldn't. But I've also not looked into if this is safe or not. So maybe it is.
Right.
Maybe it doesn't.
The other advantage of a fan, if you're riding a bike through VR, is obviously it improves the immersion. Right? So that you actually really feel like you're moving through the air.
And that makes it more comfortable too. Helps combat any feelings of motion sickness or something like that.
That can help that.
Yeah, seriously, the fan when moving is a big deal. I did a roller coaster simulator one time that it was an oscillating fan, and it was literally moments of relief when the air would hit me, and then it would go off, and I would go right back to being uncomfortable.
It's a big deal. Pointing a fan at you, if you experience motion sickness as well, is a huge thing. I would definitely suggest it. It's one of the first things I say to people that are playing VR for the first time is point a fan at you. It'll help with any potential motion sickness. So,
Eric, is there anything about VR fitness that is like a big misconception that you would just love to clear up right now, or maybe something about your game that you would like to? It's like a primary pain point that you think that people think exists that doesn't. Like something important that you can share with us.
Well, we've kind of covered the most common one, which is people look at a headset and they're like, gosh, I don't think I want to wear that while I'm working out. They think it'll just be uncomfortable, not only because of sweat, just because of its weight and you're moving your head around. And, when my co-founder and I were, way before we started the company, that's one of the first things we tested for. Is, well, we don't want to start this company if wearing a headset working out doesn't feel good. But the reason that it's not a problem, or at least it isn't the problem, is for the same reason that it works so effectively as a motivator for exercise. The minute you put that on and start working out, you are so involved and wrapped up in what you're doing, you don't notice sweat. Grinnell University and the University of Exeter University did a critical study of this years ago, and they came up with this term disassociation to describe what happens when you're in our games and using them. So your consciousness of your fatigue and leg pain, or just is pushed back by the activity of your brain saying, "Okay, I got to dodge this tank, or I need to get to this next milestone as I'm running."
Just a casual astral projection into a digital environment. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I mean, it's the same goes for the locomotion discomfort. Everyone says, well, VR is going to have a hard time being adopted because the problem isn't entirely solved. We have our special motion controls that really address it pretty well, but it's not entirely solved. But I'm reminded a bit of the early days of the airline industry, when all the planes flew, at low altitudes, and pretty much everybody got sick, and half the pilots got sick on every flight. But it didn't prevent the development of the commercial airline industry. What happened is it got better and better, pressurized cabins, higher altitudes, and the same kind of thing is going to happen with VR. Through continuous improvement, we kind of extrapolate the amazing progress that's happened over the last 5 years from this $2,500 science experiment that was the first DK wands and the Rifts to this Oculus Quest all-in-one headset. Extrapolate that out another 5 years. You can just imagine what that's going to look like.
Truly. What about FitXR, Kelly? Is there anything that you kind of want that you can take this opportunity to just like get out there and clear up, or anything important about FitXR that people really need to know?
Yeah, I do want to echo what Eric said, and it's about getting people who didn't necessarily think that fitness was for them and showing them that they are capable of this. And what Eric, what you're referring to is like this flow state that you can get into. And this is typically something that athletes get into. And usually the people that adopt exercise later in their life are former athletes. And I think what's amazing that what we're offering is the opportunity for everyone to get into that flow state. And that flow state is you just zeroing in on what the mission is. And if that's getting a goal in soccer, or if in VZFit it's blowing up a tank, or in FitXR if it's getting the most amount of points, whatever that mission is, you push out everything else that tells you I'm tired, I'm fatigued. It doesn't matter. You're just focusing on that one thing, and that's what the most important thing is, and you're going to do whatever it takes, and that's why it's so effective. And so I would say that for FitXR, what in our DNA is making fitness fun and to get you to that state, and that it is genuinely for everyone. Something that we're really big on is making fitness accessible for people with disabilities, and this is fitness in general is it's very ingrained in ableism.
Yeah.
And this is something that we want to break that boundary down and change people's lives and give them the access that they have deserved the entire time. And so that's something that's really near and dear for FitXR, is to be an outlet and just a space that everyone, depending on where you come from, what interests you have in fitness, if it's dance, if it's boxing, whatever, if it's stretching, which is eventually where we're getting into, like, if these are things that you're interested in, like, we're happy to have you, and we're happy to make it entertaining and fun at the core, but also effective. So yeah, I guess that was the many things, but I would say at our core is that we're really just trying to be as inclusive and break down boundaries for people in the fitness
People,
space.
the time is now. Like, the tech is here. These apps that exist are awesome, and just get one of them. All right. If it's not FitXR or VZFit, then it's one of these other ones. You know, just start playing. Like, just start doing it, and go look in the mirror in like 2 months. You know, like, it's really like, it's just something that you do. You just start doing it, and then go look in the mirror in 2 months, and I bet you will see a difference. I think both of our guests would agree with that.
When in the past, have we been able to play video games and get fit? Right?
Yeah.
This is a big deal. It's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I'm sure you got sweaty playing Guitar Hero, but not enough.
It's not even about what you look like. And I do want to emphasize that, is that I think that we come from a culture where it is about that. But honestly, our members feel amazing. And that is what fitness is about. Fitness is preventative medicine, and it makes you feel amazing when you move your body. So giving that to everyone, like, to your point, grab your headset. It could be VZFit. I'm happy if you go do that. I'm happy if you come to FitXR. I'm happy if you go Supernatural, all these other places. Like, it's just about moving, and it's whatever fits you and whatever sticks. And I think you guys touched on that before, is finding what is going to make you come back.
Exactly.
Kelly, Eric, this has been awesome. This was a great conversation, and thank you both so much for your contributions in the VR space, and that obviously are having real life impacts on people. You know, we're grateful that stuff like this exists, and we're going to encourage you to keep moving forward and keep expanding on this and keep improving on it, because I think it's only a matter of time, and I think you guys think that too.
Yeah, very good. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Nice meeting you, Kelly.
This was an
So
awesome
nice to
time.
meet you, Eric.
Thank you guys so much
Nice
for
meeting
joining
you.
us, and stay in touch. We'll see you soon, okay? Say goodbye
Bye.
to them, everyone. Bye, Kelly. Bye, Eric. And they're gone. And they're gone forever.
They are gone. Yep.
Man, this was a great episode.
It was.
That was a lot of fun. Huge thank you to all of our guests who joined us today. We had 4 amazing guests on this episode, and the conversations were rich and deep and beautiful. And I feel like we got into some stuff today, don't you?
We absolutely did, man. And you know, I've been kind of first of all, I love rhythm games, and second of all, like I said, I like to, if I'm gonna work out, it has to be in VR, because it's what I enjoy. And like Kelly was saying earlier, it's disassociative, right? You don't even think of what your body's going through and how fatigued you are. You just go for the mission, and it's awesome. And you don't even realize that you're sore until after everything's done.
Or you go beyond your comfort zone.
You do.
Like, you will have stopped if you weren't doing the mission, but because you're doing the mission, you will keep pushing, and that's why these games are amazing. So thank you all for joining us here on the live broadcast. Of course, thank you for listening to this or watching this after the live broadcast. If you caught us afterwards, we do the show live on Fridays, and we have amazing people who come and join us. Amazing community who come and join us every single week, like Wolf Raza, who is up in here, and Chroma Snare, and Robin, and Traveling Man. Little Reese the King came in near the end there. Thanks for stopping by, dude. You know, Laszlo, who dropped the super chat on us, and Techno Glitch. You know, thank you guys so much for coming and being a part of the Between Realities community, which, by the way, also has a Discord server. You should come and join us and play some games with us sometime.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing next week?
Next week, Actually, it's not even next week. It's in 2 days.
What? Oh, holy
Because it's not Friday. It's not BR Friday. It's
You're
BR
right.
Wednesday. So in 2 days, we are going to have a fellow content creator, someone that blew up on TikTok, is doing very well on YouTube, is very big into the modding community, Genghis VR. She is,
the Foss Roda girl.
yeah, she typically has googly eyes on her headset. No one's ever seen her face. Except maybe us, because we've hung out with her
We
in real
saw
life.
her in real life. Well,
Yep,
no one's seen
yep.
her eyes. She covers
Correct.
her eyes,
Correct.
but she keeps her nose and mouth in her videos.
Mhm. Yep.
So she's an elusive and mysterious one, and
Yes.
she will be a lot of fun to have on the show in
Yes.
just 2 short days.
Yep.
So thanks again to everyone who came out for the show. A little surgical gaming dropped in there at the end. Thanks for being here, man. And we will see you guys in 2 days with Genghis VR.
Woohoo!
See you then.
All right. Bye-bye.